Hey guys, I thought I'd do a video on how to lay out a boat. Not necessarily that you have to do it that way, but a good guide to do it that way. This is my boat. I have a Nitro Z19. It's a 2018 double axle, as you can see. I got power poles with the 2-stroke on it. And so let me get into how I laid out the boat, okay? So here we go. Let me climb in. All right, I laid everything already open and out so you could see everything, and so we could go through this a little bit quicker. And up here, this is where I got my rod locker storage at. As you can see, I put my spinning reels up top, and then my bait casters on the bottom. That's a good way that I know what rods I need or what I'm actually looking for, so I'm not confused. And I got it color coded too. This is my net that I use, a collapsible net, so it fits in the rod locker a little bit better. But color coded as far as the spinning reels, I got yellow rod sleeves on, and then I got red rod sleeves for the bait casters down there. I also put my life jackets over here on the side, so when I'm getting out my rods, I'm also grabbing my life jacket out at the same time so I don't forget it. Oh yeah, always, for safety, guys, always make sure that you have a like a whistle or something connected to your life jacket. I recommend this because if you're in the water and you need help, instead of screaming, you got to whistle. Always make sure you guys have life jackets on board, please, for safety of yourself and others. That's pretty much for the rod locker box. Oh yeah, I also have these from Bass Pro Shop, the lure wraps. I really like these things because as you can see right here, I have one on this rod. I think every single one of them have them on. But when I'm trying to reach down in here, do something, or I have it on the front deck up here, fishing, I don't want to step on any lures or grab a handful of lures in here. That this would be a very bad day to start out. But yeah, that's the rod locker box. And moving on to the center where all the action happens is, all right, as you can see, I got everything labeled in my boxes. This is a good way to get in here, see what you need to see, and grab what you need to grab. Because when you're in a tournament, you don't got time to sit around and go through every single box to see what's in the box. You gotta get down to business. So I like to keep my plastics at a very minimum. So I got in here, try and do this with one hand. Hold on. Okay, yeah, see, I got my worms and stuff in here, and this one for my plastics, and in this one I got swim baits and crawls in here. So I got very few plastics. I don't want to weigh down the boat with plastics because plastics get very, very heavy. The key thing to really organizing a boat is weight. You got to try to limit the weight in the boat, because that's how fast you could go. Is depends on the weight. So you got to limit as much as possible. So when you do your layout of your tackle and stuff like that, make sure you got the bare minimum of what you need and none of the stuff that will over weigh you down, if you understand what I'm saying there. Just get what you need and because that weight will absolutely kill you in the long run when you're trying to get up on plane and get out of the area that you're in for the tournament. And hopefully you get to your fishing hole faster than everybody else before they get there, before you do. But there's how I do it in my tackle right here. I make sure I label all of them, put the heaviest stuff, try to up front, limit plastics as much as possible, and yeah, you should be good when you're doing your layout of all your baits and stuff. Just for your hooks and weights, try to keep them up front. I got them in the middle right here, kind of center of gravity in the boat, and then I got my plastics right there. So also I got my tools off to the side so I could just pull them out and put them out here right next to these cup holders on the sides, which is nice. I like to have them very accessible. So over here, this is where I prep a lot of the boat, getting ready to fish. I have my up front electronic, goes right there. I put it in this box right here to seal it so it doesn't get damaged or anything like that with styrofoam. I recommend doing this for your graphs up front because these things are very expensive, man. Anyone that does have one definitely knows how much these things cost. I got an extra seat for the front here. This I actually recommend some waterproof bags that are for your layout of the boat to keep everything organized. Each state is different, but I'm pretty sure most of them have the safety regulations that you have to have a flotation device, a throwable flotation device. So make sure you abide by your state laws and make sure you got one of those. Even if your state doesn't even require it, I really recommend having that because you never know what's going to happen. And then, of course, you got your fire extinguisher in case something goes bad on electronics or something on the boat. And I'm pretty sure that's nationwide that you have to have a fire extinguisher on board. Some states require that you have a pack, and I still keep it in the boat just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. Up here I got another bag, and this I'm not going to open it, but it's my wetsuit in case it rains out on the water. When I'm fishing tournaments and stuff, if I'm fishing by myself, I really don't go out during the rain and stuff, but I mainly have it to fish tournaments with, because yeah, you can't predict the weather when it's actually tournament time. So you definitely need rain gear. But that will do for this side of the boat. When I'm doing all this loadout and stuff, I try to keep everything to the left and up front for this boat, because this boat has a one console and not two, as you can see, because the console itself is kind of heavy, so it's all the weight on the right side, plus I'll be sitting right there driving, so all the weight shifted on this side of the boat, on the right side. And if I don't have anyone here, it makes this side very light because there's no console, there's no one sitting here. So when I did my layout of the boat, I tried to put all the weight towards the top left to keep it up front, and none of the weight in the back, because most of the weight in the back really drags you down when you're trying to get that hole shot, when you're trying to leave your position. Right here is the live well, and this side has your call system, so that you can put the put them on the fish, so during tournament time and stuff. I don't like putting fish in this side just because of these hanging in there and floating and getting in the fish way and stressing them out. So when I do get a fish, I use one and I throw them over here, so it's like worry free of these things, so they don't have to freak out over what in the world's that by my head. So I like to stick them in here once I catch them. All right, over here behind the driver's seat, I like to keep this completely free. Like I said, you're worried about the weight of the boat. Since there is no console on that side and all the weight seems like it's on the right side of the boat, you want to make sure you balance the boat out, because if not, it'll be sitting like this in the water. You want it to be level as much as possible. So I don't keep anything in this bin at all. I do keep it open definitely for the co-angler, so he could put his stuff in the boat, because when the co-angler's in the seat, it balances out the boat a little bit better, and I can have weight over here then. So that's why I keep this side open. All right. Oh, my keys just fell down the live well there. The tray that I have right here actually fits right back here, and they designed that so they'll slide back and forth. And I really like the design layout of how they did in the Nitro. They kept it really clean, and it just looks nice and neat. Everything's where it's supposed to be, and very accessible to get to. All the pumps and stuff like that, and then they can take this door off and get to the fuel tank. And so yeah, and then I got my power switch right here. You can flip between different power switches, how you want to run the boat. So has 3 interstate batteries right there. So that's the back of the boat right there. Moving on to behind the passenger side, I keep a another seat for the co-angler, another bicycle seat, and then I have my weigh bag back here. And that's literally it. The heaviest thing that I have on this side is the seat, and in the back. I can't really put that seat up front because it's kind of bulky, but this is the only thing I really have heavy back here besides the batteries. I mean, they have to be back here. So there you have it. That's basically my layout. Is just to reiterate, I literally try to keep all the weight top left because of the weight for the console and myself in the boat. When doing your layout, I recommend doing it the same way as best you can, because I mean, I'm telling you, that whole shot coming out and trying to get on plane is going to be tremendous when you trying to keep all your weight up at the front and to the left of the boat. That's if you don't have another console. But if you have another console, you can kind of like distribute the weight a little bit up front more. But definitely keep the weight from out of the back of the boat because of the motor itself and the batteries. I mean, that's the heaviest things in the boat. So definitely put all your weight up front as best as you can, and that's a good way to lay out your boat. So give me a like for a thumbs up, and subscribe, and any comments that you guys have, definitely leave them below, and talk to you later.